Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the Lumix GH1. Back in September 2008, Lumix released the Lumix G1, and this would be the first mirrorless interchangeable lens camera. So the Lumix G1 was a bit of a groundbreaker at the time, and it really rocked the DSLR world, but it was lacking one feature, and that feature was video. A few months later, in March 2009, Lumix then released the Lumix GH1. So with the HD feature, you could shoot in 1080 and 720. You could also have continuous autofocus within while shooting. It's not the best, but nevertheless you could shoot AFC with video recording, and also you could have full manual control over the video, which is a big thing for independent filmmakers. The camera also came with the 14-140 lens. It's a lens that I own, and it's a really good lens. And at the time there wasn't many Micro Four Thirds lenses, or at least Panasonic lenses, available for the GH1. So that lens in particular, with its power OIS and super zoom range, was a very good lens to purchase with the GH1. So with its stills and video capability, the Lumix GH1 was quite a formidable hybrid camera at the time. So some features of the Lumix GH1 is it has an articulated screen, which is perfect for filming yourself. It shoots AVC HD in 1080 and 720. It weighs 385 grams, so quite a small and light camera. The external mic, so you can put an external microphone into the camera, but it's a 2.5 port, so you'd have to get an adapter, like a 2.5 to 3.5 port. And it also has an effective 12 megapixel sensor. So as you know, on this channel, I shoot a lot with the GH2, and I enjoy the GH2, and the GH2 I have is hacked with P tools. And it just so happens you can actually do this with the GH1 too by using P tools and downloading some hacks off personalview.com. So it's what I've done, and I've hacked the GH1 with a quite a beefy hack that says it allows for about 108 megabits per second video, which is quite nice. Here's a little example of the hack in action. Couple of things to note about the camera actually is the build quality is quite plasticky, but it's a smooth plastic. Feels quite nice in the hand, and it also has a SD card slot on the side, which is always the best design. I hate it when it's on the bottom in the battery compartment, just because if you've got this on a tripod, it's a bit of a pain to take this off, take the plate off, and then take the SD card out. So it's nice to have that on the side. So the SD card that this takes is actually an SDHC and not an SDXC. Now, when I first had this, I put my GH2 SD card into this camera, and I was getting all types of issues, and I panicked thinking it was actual camera, but rest assured it's not the camera, it's the actual SD card you use. So make sure you get an SDHC card for the GH1. Another thing I quite like about the GH1 is the record button placement is quite nice. It's near the thumb, so ergonomically it makes sense where it's placed, so that's quite easy to reach. Also, another thing about the GH1 is the audio. There is no audio monitoring option, so no headphone jack for the GH1. There's also no way to lower the preamps in the camera as well. So if you're planning to monitor or planning to plumb in a microphone into this camera, just be aware that you're not going to be able to control the gain, and this camera is terrible for trying to listen for sound. So if you're talking, and I'll show an example of this, so if I'm talking to the camera with this plumbed in, the moment I go quiet, you'll hear the noise raise because the camera is trying to listen for sounds. So
it's hard on the body, the knees and legs are hurting.
Put everything down to minus, well, put the receiver down to -4 and the transmitter down to -5, just to see if that helped, because the noise was really bad. Now, a workaround to this is to record the audio externally and not internally using the camera's preamps, and with the DJI mics they can record internally into the microphone, but you could use any other kind of microphone, record it externally, and you will have much better sound. This is a given, and I'm sure a lot of you may be aware of this because of the age of this camera, but you're not going to find this camera full of the latest and greatest features. You're not going to find definitely any log profiles with this, and you're not going to find fancy tools, well, not fancy tools, but tools that I've begun to take for granted in modern cameras, and tools like focus peaking, which I find quite helpful, particularly with manual focus. And this doesn't have that, but the screen is quite nice. So when you've got manual focus assist on and you're punching in, you can get quite critical focus. So it's not too bad, but ideally, yes, something like focus peaking would be a lot better. So the UI is quite dated with this camera, but nevertheless it's still easy to navigate through. The EVF is decent, and like I just said, the back screen is not bad either, but it would be prone to glare. So on those sunny days, you know, be prepared to kind of cover the LCD with your hand. The GH1 also has a few profiles and a few scenes to choose from, for photography in particular, but for video I like to use the smooth profile with -2 on all the values. So with that said, what do I think about the GH1? Is the GH1 a good option in 2022? So if you're really serious about your video work and your filmmaking, I would perhaps skip this and move on to maybe a G6 or even a G7. You're going to get more features with that, and you're going to get a better quality of video out of the box too. But if you're just starting out in video and you want to do some content creation, so stills and video, definitely pick this up. I picked mine up for £47 off MPB in a well-used condition, and I'm really happy with the condition. Actually, you'll see some close-ups in the B-roll of the overall condition of the GH1, which I bought, and I'm quite happy with it. So if you're really on a budget and you're just getting into doing content creation, whether it be video, stills, or both, or whatever, you can definitely achieve some good results with this camera. Also, I think if you're a nostalgic twat like me and you love cameras, then definitely pick one up. You can get the hack on it, you can try it with different lenses and just have a lot of fun with the camera like I did. So guys, what do you think about the Lumix GH1? Do you own the Lumix GH1? Would you never own the Lumix GH1? Let us know in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more videos from us at Mad Science Films. Until next time, goodbye.